Load light should be Shift L. Alrighty. Hello, can you hear me now? Yep, alrighty. So back to you. Are you familiar with Ace interaction? Alrighty, follow me over this way. We'll get you all sorted. So, if you go up to this lovely locker here and hold your Windows key, you'll notice you have an arrow, and you should be able to see an interactions. Once you have interactions, it'll open more options. You want to go to Arsenal, so hover over Arsenal, and then just let it go. Let me know if you need help. Hold Windows keys, hover over interactions, it'll bring up more options, and then go to the very bottom option being Arsenal. Once in there, click Loadouts. No, the Windows key. And then go to Arsenal. And then let go once you're hovering over Arsenal. Now it'll bring up a whole lovely little menu. So for now, you're just going to click Loadouts. And then click on Default Loadouts. And you'll see the Marine Rifleman loadout. Go ahead and load that one. You're going to click on it and then click Load. Alrighty, perfect. So close out of that when you're done. Alright, so next thing I'm going to be teaching you is self-interacting. So if you press Control in Windows at the same time, it'll give you self-actions. Here you can view random things like gestures, your equipment, which you can sling helmet, put backpack on chest, adjust the accessories of your gun if you don't want to do it manually. You have team management, which is a little bit more important. These are the team colors, so when you join a squad, they'll ask you to go green or red, etc. Then you have animations, gestures, and whatnot. Alrighty, moving on. Where are we? Okay. So stances, specifically with guns. So if you press Control and then D, you'll notice your character shifts to the right. Press Control A, he'll go back to his normal stance, but if you press it one more time, he'll go to the left hand. The same can be done with up and down. So you press Control W, he'll get up on his toes a little bit. Press Control S to go down, and you press Control S to go all the way down the prone stance, and then one more time to do this. So in the prone stance, you can do something like Control A. So if you need to look left of it, you can do that, and you can do this. Nice little tool so you don't expose too much of your body. Alright, weapon jam. Sometimes your weapon will jam. It happens fairly rarely. But if you are consistently unloading that rifle, it'll heat up and eventually jam. If it does, all you do is press Shift R and it unjams the gun. Pointing. So the lovely button under escape and above tab is called tilde. If you press Shift and tilde, you'll give a little point. Perfect. Alrighty. Next up is TFAR. So, TFAR radio. You press Control and P, it'll pull up a lovely radio. Control P as in Peter. So, if you look at the lovely little antenna with the numbers on it, if you left click, it'll decrease the volume, and right click will increase the volume. Below that, we have a lovely little amount of buttons. First things first, though, you see the C1 with the numbers. Go ahead and highlight those, so hold left click and drag. Once those are all highlighted, type in 100. Once 100 is on there, click the ENT button, which will say set frequency when hovering over it. Then now your radio is set to 100. If you press escape and hold caps lock, you'll be able to chat over it and also hear others on this radio channel. Is there another way to back out of T-fire? Escape is the... escape is so escape is to back out of the radio, and then caps lock is to transmit over the radio. Let's see, what is another way to close out of T5 radio? Let me see if they have another bind for it.
No. Oh.
Yeah. Since usually aren't conscious enough to announce black, so there's that. So if anyone ever calls for an ace check, you know, you're doing fine, good on ammo, stay green. You know, if you're a little injured, yellow, and whatnot. Oh, he's back. Hello. Were you able to change the controls in the menu prior? So you'd be able to hopefully do that in the main menu of Arma. The reason I say that is because you do need to set some binds up, which does involve pressing escape, and if possible, we need to be able to change your T-far button out of escape, so be able to back out, not have to close your game. I guess yes, the T-far bind, as well as the ability to just open up the menu in general. Pressing escape brings you into the menu, and you're going to be able to do that. Let's see. Let me get Luke. I guess we could. Yeah. So back to what I was saying. So normally, once you set your radio channel, you press caps locks to transmit, and we have an additional radio channel, so you can have two radios at once. You go to the second channel, you would swap it to set additional, then you would enter in the additional channels, such as 112, 138.1, or whatever, and holding down T would transmit over the additional. Can't do that part, can't do that part. All right, so catching up to where he was, we have what are called ace checks. So basically your squad leader or a fire team leader will call for an ace check. All this basically means is what is your health and ammo status. Green being, you're completely fine and good. Yellow meaning you're either, a little injured but you're good, or you're a little low on mags but fine. Amber being your, medical condition is fucked and will probably be going unconscious soon or need immediate medical attention. Or you're, getting dangerously low on ammo. Black, usually for medical sense, you aren't conscious to call black on yourself. But in terms of ammunition sense, you're completely dry. Radio etiquette, and discipline. Simple. Try to keep radio chatter to a minimum. Only say things that are necessary. If you want to chatter with chatter with someone, you can go ahead and do it. Via voice proximity. Uh, Make sure to always call your name and the person's name you're trying to talk to. So, for example, if you're trying to talk to your corpsman to get medical attention, go like, "Hey," either say their name or say their job/title, which is corpsman. It's like, "Hey, corpsman, this is campy. I need medical attention, etc." Let's see
Why do you
here.
need medical attention?
Oh no, no, I was just using you as an example. So we have a few emergency protocols. One being Texas. Texas is initiated when all of command elements are KIA. So we try to condense the squad radio nets down so everyone knows what's going on. When Texas is called, all you do is you switch your radio channel to 100. Very simple. If you can't recall it, feel free to ask a buddy. He'll gladly share it with you. Another emergency protocol is midnight. Midnight is called whenever our radio frequencies are compromised. What you do is you go up 12 channels from the current channel you're in. So if you're in channel 100, you go up to 112. If the radio frequencies are for whatever reason compromised again, and midnight is called again, you would go up 12 again. So you go from 112 to 124, 136, etc. Alrighty. Do you remember how to go access the arsenal code? Yeah, so go ahead and grab your rifleman kit again real quick. If you need help, it's under, you click loadouts, and then default loadouts, and then the rifleman kit for the Marines. Alrighty. So from here, pretty simple, standard controls like most video games. You right click to aim down your sights, right click again, you stop aiming down. If you press double tap C while you walk, you will now hold your weapon at raise, so you don't have to constantly right click to bring it back up. You double tap C, you'll notice how your gun goes slightly down whenever you're walking, versus double tapping C and it stays raised. You can also press Control C. This will put your gun down and put you at a good jogging pace. Let me actually pull out my rifle so I can show you the difference. So if I double tap Control, it puts my gun down, and now I can conserve some stamina while jogging. Pressing Control C will put you in a walking stance. We rarely ever do a walking, speed, but always good to know just in case. Press Control C again, and it'll put you back at your normal pace. Alrighty. So, on to cover. We have a few things. We have concealment. Concealment is not cover, but it will obscure the enemy's vision of you. Concealment is like a tree, bush, and whatnot. Soft cover. Soft cover is any cover that will protect you from low caliber munitions. Then there's hard cover. Hard cover will protect you from most, if not all. Sorry about that. Some family. Hard cover. So hard cover is any cover that will protect you from most, if not all, calibers, with a few exceptions. And then we have a defilade. So a defilade is any piece of terrain that will protect you from view or fire from an enemy position. Alrighty, map reading. So pressing M will pull up your lovely little map. In here you'll notice you'll see 2 digits, but if you zoom in with the scroll wheel a little further, you'll get 3 digits. So the top of your screen and bottom of your screen is your X coordinates, and the going up and down, which are on the left and right hand side of your screen, is Y. Grid coordinates are always read with the first 3 being X and the last 3 being Y. So, for example, if, whatever reason, they tell you to go to a certain grid coordinate, they say, go to 058-039. I'll highlight and hold yellow. That would be right here. Or I'll actually make a marker for you. Go to side. So this right here is 058-039. Fairly simple. So if you go ahead and press Shift O Campy, I'm not sure if it's going to work for you because I'm not sure if the keybind is automatically set for Shift O. It'll pull up your lovely HUD.
PC my face, mate.
So if you enter first person, you'll notice at the top you have your cardinal directions and a bearing. At the bottom left, you'll have a little mini-map, and above that mini-map are your current grid coordinates. So we're currently at 058-013. So for whatever reason you're asked to give your grid coordinates, you always have them handy and dandy right there. Pressing Shift H should increase your HUD radar range at the top left, so it goes out only up to a maximum of 100 meters though. Press it again, it'll go straight back down to 25. Alrighty. Terrain map markers. So if you open up your lovely map once again, we have a few terms we're going to be going over. So this deeper highlighted darker yellow road is what we refer to as an MSR for short, and full name being main supply route. These yellow but slightly less darker roads are referred to as ASR, an alternate supply route. These are alternate roads but are still paved for the most part. Alright, let me draw my lovely, wonderful box of terminology now. Do that. I guess it's less of a box, more of a rectangle. I guess you consider this a box anyways. So, hopefully you're able to see that lovely little rectangle I just drew. Am I correct? You guys able to see it?
Yes.
Alright, perfect. So, we have our what called phase lines. So, in operation, we use these to help keep the control of the company or battalion in check. So you'll usually have different colors or different names or numbers perhaps with the phase lines. That'll help keep track of people's movement so we don't overextend each other and teams get wiped out because one is too far ahead of another. So for example, they'll say either move up to phase line green, or they'll say phase line 1, phase line 2, and etc. Alright, then we have an LOA, which is a line of advance. These are fairly simple. It just means don't go past them. So whatever side you're on, stay on that side. We use these to help keep people from wandering off and going to places of the map they shouldn't be going if for whatever reason that's needed. Alright, time for the fun part. More terms. We have a DZ, which is drop zone, an LZ, which is a landing zone, an RP, which is a rally point, an ORP, which is an objective rally point, and an OBJ being objective. Sometimes you'll notice an A in front of these, such as an ALZ. All that means it's an alternate landing zone. So if for whatever reason the main landing zone isn't viable, we go to the alternate landing zone. Or the rally point isn't viable, we go to the alternate rally point. Fairly simple. Basic movement techniques, pretty simple. Move from cover to cover if possible. Watch your spacing, so you don't want to, get wiped out by a single rocket or grenade. Always watch your stamina. Don't skyline yourself. For those who don't know what skylining means, is don't stand on top of a hill showing yourself to everybody in the world. So like if you go on top of a hill, try to stay crouch or prone even. Don't linger in doorways or narrow alleys. Fairly simple. Alright, fire team formations. So we have the simple wedge. You can think of a V. We have a heavy left wedge and a heavy right wedge. These are like check marks if you want to think about it, kind of inverted. I'll do a little example on the map in terms like a heavy left wedge. So imagine these dots are people, and your squad leader calls for a heavy left wedge. This would be an example of a heavy left wedge, which is why I said kind of think of like a check mark, but inverted. Comparatively to, like a wedge formation, which would be something like, yeah, that's, can I do dots in a proper formation? Let's find out. Alright, whatever, that's
Whoa.
good enough. That's a wedge, wow, versus a heavy left wedge. Heavy right wedge, you guessed it, a majority of the people are on the right side versus the left side. Then we have a diamond. Think of a square, but rotated at an angle. We have columns, of course, and then we have staggered columns. All a staggered column is just, you have a second column on the opposite end. So, you have two lines instead of one line. Wow. We usually use staggered columns when traversing roads. Then we have an echelon. Very fun, because we never use them. Ooh. So an echelon, think, like, there we go. That's an echelon right there. And then of course you have the standard line, which people stand. I wouldn't say exactly shoulder to shoulder because that's going against spacing, but just spaced out shoulder to shoulder. LDA. An LDA is a linear danger area. It's any road that enemies can quickly get to you on. So like a warthog drives through and whatnot. We already went over that. Reaction to contact. Bounding. Oh, we have what is called bounding. This is to help ensure people don't die too quickly when working together. So we have successive bounding. You'll have two teams or two groups move up in line with each other. One will be covering while the other goes up, and then they take turns. We have alternate bounding, which is when teams will leapfrog and push past each other. Then we have peeling. All that is retreating with another team covering you. Very complicated, I know. We have another term, I guess, which is the 3Ds. So whenever you see, enemies, you call, like, hey, enemy, 300 meters north. If you want to give bearing, of course, you can give bearing. Be a responsible fire team member. Know the rules of engagement. Follow the chain of command. Maintain a safe distance from squad mates. Pull security if and at all times if possible. Watch out for teammates' lines of fires. If you're crossing someone's, line of fire, make sure to announce it so they don't just end up shooting you. And, it's gonna be your fault because you just kind of ran in front of their gunfire. Buddy system. So, not everyone uses it, but I do highly advise you use your buddy system. So, if you have someone you like playing with, or, when you're squad, just, say, hey, you're my buddy. And from that point on, he's responsible for you, and you're responsible for him. Anything he does, you should know about, and anything you do, he should know about. His condition, you should know about, and your condition, he should know about. Alrighty, Ace Medical. Both of you familiar with this?
I am.
Alrighty. So Ace Medical. The standard keybind, I believe, should be J or H, one of the two. You pull up the menu, you'll see a lovely little status, a lovely little character. Go ahead and press, I think it's J or H code. Pull up your Ace Medical. No, just try J. Not even H. J or H. Headshot. King Zeus. Oh, it's a Zeus pun. That's weird. Huh.
Oh, you can try is
Alright.
interacting.
So self-interact, so do control windows, go to medical menu, and then let go. And that'll pull up your Ace menu. Self-interact, so control window, and go down to medical menu, and then let go once you're hovering on top of it. Is that working? No, it should pull up a little examine and treatment under medical menu.
Yes.
Medical menu. Sorry, so now that you're in here, you'll see status. At the top left, it'll show who you're looking at, so in this case, it should be yourself. Although you can do the little, like, you'll see a single person and two persons, you can do toggle self, so if you're staring at someone, for your case, it'll toggle to their body versus your body. And we have a fun little assortment of things. So you have your right arm, your left arm, your head, your torso, your right leg, and your left leg. And then under examine and treatment, you'll notice all these lovely little symbols with names on them. So under examine patient, you'll see a check pulse. You can do this to check whether or not they have a pulse. If they have a pulse, hooray! If they don't have a heart rate, you'll have to click on their torso and do CPR. Here, let me get us a little dummy to practice with here. By dummy, I mean random volunteer who's not gonna make it back. Alrighty, you sir. Okay, so if we go up to this lovely little volunteer here, well, the medical menu, can you talk self? Let's see. So in your case, you're gonna hold Windows, go to his interactions, and then click medical menu on him. And you'll notice you're looking at Giorgos Lara. So obviously he's bleeding on his head. Very large avulsions. If you click the bandages and fractures, which is a little like a bandage symbol with the bone symbol, it'll then pull you to where you can apply splints or bandages. So in this case, you're going to want to apply just a simple elastic bandage for now, as to get the bandage quickly applied. Elastics are quicker to apply, they don't hold on for very long, but it gets the job done and stops the bleeding. A packing bandage, on the other hand, might take a little longer to apply, but it will stay on for 25 minutes versus a elastic being, I think, 10, 15 minutes. And so, first things first, in any terms of medical care, you always want to stop the bleeding. So in this case, it's only his head, so you just keep putting bandages on there until it's blue. At this point in time, as a normal rifleman, you have done all that you can for bandaging. Next, you're going to click on his head again, go to airway management. That's the little symbol with the lungs. You want to click check airways. So, as of right now, his airways are clear with no medical suction needed. You'll see in the activity log, it says no, not obstructed and not occluded. So if he had an obstruction, you'd have to hyperextend his head, and that's all you can do for him because you would require a corpsman to fix the obstruction. If he had an occlusion, you could do head turning to get rid of the occlusion. Alrighty, if you click on his lovely torso, his chest, you'll be able to click on the little advanced treatments option, which is the kind of like the heart monitor little thing. You notice you have two options. You can ignore the established recovery position, but CPR is important. So if he has no pulse and requires CPR, you would then begin CPR. So if you go to examine patient, which is a little person with a magnifying glass, you click check pulse, and it should say he has no heart rate, which at this point you'd begin CPR on him and repeatedly do it until you get a pulse. So after every 2 to 3 CPR rounds, you would then click check pulse. If it says, he has a heart rate of 87 or 120 and whatnot, you've successfully given him a heart rate. Hooray. There are a few more things too. If you're on torso, sometimes you'll see something called a pneumothorax, a tension pneumothorax, and a hemothorax. Some of these can be treated by you, and some of them cannot be treated by you. So, a chest seal can solve a pneumothorax, but if you have anything called a tension pneumothorax or a hemothorax, you'd want to call for a corpsman to then take care of you. Alrighty, tourniquets. So for example, his arms or legs were bleeding, you could apply a tourniquet. It think 4-6 seconds, and it'll instantly stop him from losing blood. So if it's his torso or his head, you want to bandage those. All the other limbs, such as arms and legs, can be tourniqueted. Alrighty, so let's see here. Anything else I need to go over pretty much? Not really, I guess. Alrighty. Oh, yes, injectors. So we have a few injectors. We have morphine and epinephrine for a basic rifleman. Morphine will reduce your pain, but it will lower your heart rate and thin your blood. Problem with morphine is if you go unconscious, you'll be unconscious for a longer amount of time, since your heart rate has been lowered. If you really need to use morphine, make sure to let a corpsman be like, hey, I'm going to be using morphine because I need it. You know, just always make sure someone knows that you used morphine. Epinephrine, for the most part, you won't be needing to use on yourself. What this does is raises your heart rate. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to get a heart rate on a person, and you can inject an epinephrine to increase the chance of successfully getting them a heart rate. Make sure to ask the corpsman about it, as you don't want to overdose someone, because you can OD. Woo. Alrighty. PIT, we're almost done to the quick parts. Let me get these lovely guys set up. Alright, who do we want as an example? We'll pick. Alright, let me go move him out here so he doesn't kill anyone. Alrighty, so this is our standard URF soldier right here.
Dushman!
So you can tell his
Dushman!
differences as he has these red markings on him, and the mismatched camo being that kind of brown OD versus his camo uniform. Some of them will also have, let me see if I can find an example, this one right here. Captive. Some of them will also have this lovely little orange visor. These are standard URF forces, one being a grenadier, the other here being a squad leader. Alright, you guys, your time is no longer needed. Alrighty, on to battle jumpers. Woo! Oh, come on, let me do this to you. There we go. So, battle jumpers are the URF's version of ODSTs, kind of. You can see how they are very different compared to me and him.
Contact!
You can see their lovely little bulky helmet with their bulky chest piece. They have an upgraded gun comparison to their standard URF troops with a higher caliber and typically better AI. And of course, better armor. Alrighty. And then lastly, for special forces for the URF, would be a good example. You are a perfect example. Captive. This is the URF Special Forces. They usually will be wearing all green or all black. They will usually wear either a boonie hat or a lovely little beanie. Alrighty, on to friendly forces. So, obviously, you know, if you press enter and go to third person, you are what a typical 105th Marine looks like. I am what a typical 105th ODST will look like. We do have friendly forces such as the Colonial Guard Corps, which are guys that look like this. You can tell they have sort of like that flattish armor with that little kind of boxy helmet. These will typically be friendly unless otherwise told or proven so by them shooting at you. It's here. There we go. Colonial Police Force. Sometimes they'll be working with the Colonial Police, in which case they'll be wearing all black and sometimes have this orangish yellow visor. They'll be looking somewhat like this. These guys will also be friendly unless otherwise stated or proven so via them shooting at you. Along with the Colonial Guard, we also have the Colonial Military. They kind of look like this with their lovely little boxy helmets and the green uniforms. Oh, those would be your friendlies comparatively to the hostiles. That is PID course. Woo! Alrighty. Let's get to the slightly fun and quicker part. Follow me this way. Yeah, alright. So, if you look at this lovely map, you can start scrolling down. You'll see a selection of options. Go ahead and scroll above, scroll over the small arms range, and once it is highlighted, middle mouse click it.
I've been expecting you. I've been expecting you, my good sir.
Oh, looks like he made it on himself. Alright.
Oh, hello there.
Alrighty. Next up, come over here.
Whoa.
Oh, fairly simple. We're gonna go to this arsenal over here, go back into default loadouts. And this time you're gonna be selecting the auto rifleman, the very, very top. Follow me up here. Go ahead and deploy your bipod on the sandbag. To do that, you just press C, and it deploys. So, you can aim down sights, of course, but if you press Control, right-click, you'll notice you get a lovely little 2x optic. And you can press the plus sign on your numpad if you have one to zoom into a 4x. And minus to go back to 2x. If you want to go back to iron sights, Control right-click, and it'll, bring you back and forth from whichever one. As an auto rifleman, your job is to simply suppress the enemy and lay as many rounds as possible down range. One term we do use is machine gun talking. All this is you're working with another machine gunner to, in sequence, provide fire. So, you can go for like a 5-second burst, 6-second burst, 10-second burst, then you would stop and the other person would pick up and follow along. So I would begin by going, and then one of you would follow, so go ahead, to the right. Go ahead and stop firing. And once Cappy stops, we would each cycle through and, keep taking our turns. Very simple. That's all for the auto rifleman portion. Let's move along. So come back down here. Next up, we're going to be loading the Grenadier kit. Called Grenadier, I believe, right? Yep, Grenadier. Alright. It'll be the 4th one for the Marines. Once you have loaded that, don't leave the arsenal yet. Go ahead and go to the launcher section, which is on the left-hand side, the 3rd symbol, the launchers. Scroll down to the 3rd option called the high explosive PAW. Go ahead and click on that, pull that out. Once you have that out, just press 1 to go back to your primary. So make sure to grab the high explosive paw. It is the 3rd option. Yep. And
There you go.
Close out of the arsenal, and then press 1 to go back to your primary rifle. suppress 1, and that'll bring your primary rifle back up. Alrighty, so if you press F, you'll see at the top right it cycles. So it should be at a single. If you press F once more, it fills up all those bars, which means you're full auto. If you press it again, it'll go to a single, but you'll notice it says M301X grenade launcher, and you'll notice your flip up sight has come up. Press F, it'll cycle through. Alright, so follow me over here. Oh, first things first, press F and cycle to your lovely flip up sight. Then go ahead and scroll down and load a impact smoke round. Once you've loaded it, go ahead and fire one down range once you're ready. Alright, now load a 40mm whistler. Go ahead and fire one down range when ready. Wonderful. Alright, for the next part, load a hunt IR round. For this one, we're going to look up into the sky and fire. Now you're going to self-interact, which is control windows, to equipment, and at the top you'll see activate hunt IR monitor. Once it's highlighted, let go, and it'll open up a lovely little general dynamics tablet. It'll say searching. After a while, it'll then say connecting. Go to the equipment in self-interaction and go to the hunt IR monitor. Yes, and then let go. It'll pull up a little tablet, it'll say searching, then it'll eventually say connecting, and then it'll connect and give you a lovely little live feed. You can use your arrow keys to look around, and you can use Alrighty, so go ahead and just grab any kit and then grab that launcher again, and then we'll get you back on track. Once you have that disposable launcher, let me know, and I'll run you through what we need to run through. Go here, empty, coal. Right here, alright. Sorry about that. Alright, so go ahead and follow me over here, pull out the launcher. That'd be a press number 3. Alrighty, so whenever using disposable launcher, fairly simple. Always make sure to call clear backblast once your backblast has been cleared by someone else or either yourself by visually checking. You would then proceed to say rocket out and send it down your target. So all I want you to do is, call for your backblast, and then once it's been cleared, you say rocket out. So go ahead and start that procedure. Call for clear back. So say clear backblast. And then either I would say your backblast is clear, or you can check it yourself. And if it's clear, you then can go ahead and fire. But before you fire, you say rocket out and then pull the trigger. Just anywhere out there. Preferably, of course, off at a target. Backblast clear. Beautiful. Okay, you're now qualified to use a auto rifleman, a grenadier, and disposable launchers. Alright, follow me over here real quickly.
Oh.
Alrighty, so if you go to this ledge right here and you use your scroll wheel, you'll notice you have the option to repel self. You click on that and it will repel you off the side. Go ahead and do that. In order to detach from the rope, you press it again. So get closer to the edge, you gotta get like right there.
Over here. You're gonna scroll wheel. Then.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yay! Then you just press S to go there.
Woo.
Then you scroll wheel again.
Hit attach. Alright, so you can do that from other heights. In case sometimes the option won't pop up, and Shift R, the same button for clearing a jam and technically reloading, is also the same button for repelling. So in case it's not for whatever reason showing up, you can try pressing Shift R. B.
Oh, you just
Press B. Alrighty. The next thing we're gonna be doing is fast roping.
Oh, what's that?
So all that is rappelling, but out of a falcon or a pelican in some cases. So
Ooh.
you'll use the interact key on the falcon once we're up in the air to deploy the fast ropes, and then you'll be able to swill and do a fast rope option. I'll get us to a certain height, I'll set us there, and I'll let you guys know to fast rope. So go ahead to the back.
Ollie. Alrighty, so
Alrighty, welcome back. So you literally have just that and one more thing to do, and you'll be all set and on your way. And of course, you're gonna have to do some binds, but you can get back to me later with that and getting that resolved, so we don't have to, hopefully result in you having problems. Or let me spawn another falcon just in case the ropes are no longer viable. Alrighty, so we're just gonna go ahead and do the fast rope for you, and then we're gonna have you do a parachute jump, and you are successfully completed. Alright, so go ahead and get back into the passenger seat. Just any rifleman, I guess, would do anything. Any of the Marine kit setters. Yeah, you have to get a little close. Alrighty, so all I'm gonna have you do is self-interact with yourself, which is control windows. Go ahead and hover over the put backpack on chest, and then let go of that to select it. It'll place your backpack on your chest. Perfect. Now go back to the arsenal. and then go to the backpack selection that's under the vest, and then little search bar type in PARA, para, and grab a steerable parachute. Steerable parachute under backpacks. There's a little search bar at the top. Yes, in the arsenal. So on the left-hand side, you're currently in rifle section. Go all the way down to backpack section. Alright, then at the top above sort alphabetically, there's a little box. You click on that, and you can type in para, and that'll bring up parachutes. Grab a steerable parachute. And then left-click on it, and should put it on your back. Is it on your back? You're wearing a parachute, correct? You can just grab one off the ground right here if it's just in this. You go to inventory, so scroll, click inventory, and then drag it onto your backpack section. Alright. It just, I don't see it on your back, so I was a little worried just in case. Alright. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Alright, I see it now. So, if you press the letter O, it should pull up an altimeter. A little watch with numbers. Alrighty, so once those numbers hit 300 or within the range from 250 to 300 meters is when you want to pull your chute. You go any lower than 250, you're risking a lethal jump and will likely die. It's the one, so it says 30, you see where it says 35 right now? That's our current, so that's our current altitude. So once that number becomes 300 or, 250, within that range, you can pull your chute. All you have to do for this part is not die. To pull your chute, once you're in the air, you scroll wheel and it'll give you the option to click open parachute, and then just like how you've, gone over here with the clicking on it with the middle mouse, and just like how you rappel, that's the same way you open up your parachute with the scroll wheel. Yes. But make sure, don't, scroll wheel, have it ready, but, don't pull it too early because then you're going to be up too long. So once it's 250 or, 300 meters, once it's 300, you can wait a little longer if you don't want to be there a little too long. You can wait till 250, you can wait just above 250, and you can pull it then, and you'll live. Oh yeah, it doesn't until you're in the air. So, if you fail, no worries. I'll have you repeat it again until you don't fail. Fairly simple, I think you got this. I haven't seen anyone. I've only seen one person fail. You can always be the second though. So, yeah. Alrighty. Beautiful. So, from here on at this point, you want to, press I, you want to unequip, so drop the little sterile parachute, and then go back into the equipment, and you would put your backpack back on your back. You'd self-interact, put your backpack back on your back, and then over radio net, once we get that sorted out and fixed with you, you would call over radio and say, your name, boots on ground. Uh, Other than that, I guess we need to sort out and figure out how you can access the menu without having to press escape, so we can, get those sorted out and worked out. What else? What I need to know? Oh, yes, your name. So, you'll notice how his name was. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that would fix it in long run, of course. But other than that, the only thing you need to change right now is your name. So you notice how mine says this. So in the main menu of Arma, you'll be able to click on Profile, and then you'd go into that profile. You'd go to the Edit option, and then change your name to your rank. So your Discord name that you have in our server. That's all you need to do, dude. So yeah, it would be like a private. Let's see, what was it? S coder. Yeah. But it's something that could be done whenever you have free time, of course. But yeah, that's it for BCT, SOI, and Airborne. Congratulations. Uh, if you ever need any further help or anything, you can always ask me or another member, and we'd be happy to help. All right. So for Marines, you guys do trainings on Wednesdays. You can always LOA for them, of course, if you're busy. These are at 7:30 EST. Sorry, no, 4:30. Sorry, 7:30. I forget. I'm a PST guy. I think it's 7:30 EST if I'm correct. Um, um, check something real quick. Sure. Do. Uh, do, 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 do. It is, yeah, so it's 7:30 p.m. EST. Wednesdays for trainings, the Marines. EST, Eastern Standard. EST. So Thursdays are the spec ops, so those are one life ops. They are a lot more difficult, but in my opinion, a lot more fun because it's one life. And Fridays are our main ops. So for Wednesdays and Fridays, if you aren't able to make it, just put an LOA with the reason why, of course. Thursdays, you don't have to LOA for. But yeah, so every Wednesday you have trainings. You don't have to go to them, in my opinion. You obviously show up to them once in a while, here and there. Hopefully they do some more fun stuff in the trainings for you guys. Uh, Thursdays are spec ops, like I mentioned. One life ops, very rough and difficult, but of course fun. And then Fridays are the main ops, which you can respawn every time you die. Yes. It'd be operation announcements. Yeah, they'll always be there. Posted up and reminded. And worst case scenario, I was, you can always remember yourself. We do have some guys that do what are called side ops, which are, they do operations on side days, whatever, like Saturdays, Sundays, whatnot. They'll have their own individual times. You can learn about that through asking around or asking for the tag side ops so you can be pinged about it. But those, of course, are, they're little fun ops, side ops, and whatnot. Yep. Yep. So we use different maps. So you'll just load in. You'll be on a map. You'll spawn on what we call the love handle. I love a little ship. You'll spawn in the barracks room, and across from you is the armory. You go ahead and grab your stuff there, and then you proceed to the briefing room. If you don't know where that is, you can always just follow someone there. You'll go into the briefing room. From there, as yeah, lovely little ship called Love Handle. It's a whole little area. So once you're in the briefing room, they'll debrief you, and then you guys go to the hangars and be deployed. Or sometimes we are in like a local FOB base on ground, in which that case just follow people. Yeah, it'll be a spawn option. It'll always be the first option you have on your screen, so you don't have to worry about clicking on any other little, spawn options. You just go as a Marine for whatever squad you're in, or worst case scenario, like you can just select any of the Marine slots, like that aren't being taken up. If you want to choose like a random squad that isn't even like has a squad leader, you can also do that because at the end of the day, if you look at me while holding interact button, you'll go to interactions and you'll be able to see the option called join team or join group. And then let go, and you'll notice you'll be put into my little group. Yeah, go ahead and do that right now. So you'll notice then you'll see my little name appear, and this is how you know you're in that person's squad. And you press Control Windows, you have Team Management, you can change your color to red, green, so if they tell you to go red, you go to Team Management, you go red, and whatnot. They'll tell you what squad, what the squad radio is, so you'd open up your radio and just enter in the numbers. Of course, we're gonna have to change your bindings for that in the menu, hopefully, so you can be able to escape. Well, not having to use the escape button, or once you get your keyboard, you can set it back. Yeah, I think tab might be a good option. That should hopefully be something. I is inventory. Yeah, so you can probably use tab. Tab should be free. So whenever you go into the main menu, try to change your escape keys to tab for now if you want. But yeah, you don't have a training until Wednesday, and then if you don't want to go, you don't have to go to that. You just put an L away. Shouldn't be telling you that, but I could care less. Yeah, Thursday and Fridays are the ops. Uh, as for PvP, we don't do too much PvP. That would be something we'd have to schedule. But you could always, recommend it to someone. Be like, hey, we should do like a little PvP fun event, and I'm sure someone will be willing to host it. Soviet specifically might. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've played a Mountain Blade on console and then Bannerlord here on PC. Yeah. Um, yeah, if you have any further questions, always feel free to ask. Alrighty. You're good to go. I've already put in your thing, so you should be all good. You're free to leave. Have